Hey y'all, it's LosingColour local nurse main and Resident Evil novice but expert. Also pay attention to my words. And we're back with another kind of nurse video. We're on the PTB exploring the brand new killer and their perks. But spoiler alert, we don't care about the nemesis. What we do care about are his perks. So let's explore his perks and more importantly, maybe do a bit of a map review. Maybe we could go over the brand new map that is difficult to navigate, has small corridors, but also maybe a lot of potential for the nurse. We've got Eruption. After kicking a generator, it is highlighted in yellow. The next time you put a survivor in the dying state, that every single generator that has been highlighted in yellow explodes, regressing 6%, removing the aura. And also, if there is a survivor working on one of those generators, they scream and are incapacitated for 14 seconds. It's the same status effect as when you are affected by Victor, which means you are unable to do anything. So it renders survivors useless for 14 seconds. It does have a hefty cooldown of 90 seconds though. Personally, I play the nurse because I'm not interested in kicking generators. I don't want to worry about regressing generators. I never run regression perks. So naturally, I don't super care about this. However, it could be very interesting in the sense that, let's say you're running Eruption with Oppression. That can be really useful. You know, the one-off chance that you need to kick a generator, you kick it, that you get way more value from that one kick you want to do with Oppression. Mind you, Oppression will not apply Eruption to the rest of the generators that Oppression affects. But it is a way to sort of have two cooldowns running at the same time and have an occasional kick that is very valuable, giving you incentive to kick every once in a while. You know what I mean? Hysteria. Whenever you put a healthy survivor in the injured state with a basic attack, all of Nurse's attacks are basic attacks, mind you. All injured survivors suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 30 seconds, with a 60-second cooldown. I think Hysteria is going to be very similar in effectiveness to Blood Echo. I like the concept, but I think the numbers might be too low. Can you capitalize on survivors being oblivious for 30 seconds? Let's imagine a scenario where this would help you, where the survivors don't already know where you are. Here's the scenario. You just went on a spree with Infectious Fright. Everybody's injured. You've got 4 survivors. They are all injured. Super useful, right? Now you've chosen your one victim and you're going to down them away from the other survivors because let's say they ran the other direction and the other 3 went that way, or they all just completely split and you chose one. You've downed this survivor. Hysteria activates. Everybody's oblivious for 30 seconds. So now you have to go through either fatigue or the blade wipe animation, then you have to pick up the survivor, and then you have to put them on the hook, and then you get the aura reading from barbecue and chili. At best, you've maybe got like 20 to 15 seconds of that oblivious status effect left to then make your way over to that survivor. If you're running double range nurse, you could potentially get a pretty cheeky hit if it's a map that doesn't have long line of sight. So let's say you're on Midwich, or any of the indoor maps, which fuck that as nurse, but you know, maybe they're in a jungle gym on a Macmillan map, or they're in the main building of Ormond. You might be able to sneak up on them and get a free hit. But is that worth an entire perk slot? Is the effect of Hysteria strong enough for an entire perk slot? Personally, I don't think so. If I wanted to mess with my terror radius, I personally would probably just stick with Tinkerer or Trail of Torment. But it is completely passive. The beauty of Hysteria is you don't need to worry about it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And if you get even one down on it, then, I mean, people run Haunted Grounds and only get one down from Haunted Grounds. So if you can get a free down from Hysteria at least once a match because they didn't know you were coming, it could be better. It could be worse. So I'm not sure if I'm stoked about this one, but I think it can fuck with survivors, and that is always valuable. And then we've got Lethal Pursuer. At the beginning of the trial, you see all the survivors' auras for 7 seconds. That's insane for the nurse. It's very brief, and you are using an entire perk slot for early game pressure But when you've got the nurse's blinks behind you, this is an amazing opportunity. It's basically going to be like a fuck you, corrupt intervention. We do not need you anymore. Because if you're good at the nurse, you don't care about gen progress. You just use corrupt intervention to herd everybody towards you so you can capitalize on infectious fright. But survivors tend to spawn at least somewhat grouped up, or at least in pairs usually. And so utilizing Lethal Pursuer, you can analyze where in the map everybody is and make the absolute best decision possible immediately. Let's say you spawn onto Azarov's resting place, where you can capitalize on a 3 and 4 gen super easily. Boom, you immediately know where the closest survivor to you is, and you can capitalize on that. Instead of being like, oh no, do I want to, I spawned in the corner of the eye. Do I want to go explore over there and try and find the survivor who's hiding that I know spawned there? Or do I want to rush across the map and stop the 3 survivors that you know spawned on the other side and stop them? With this, that first survivor cannot hide from you. They have nowhere to hide. You know exactly where they are. I would argue that even though this is only a 7-second perk, the effect is invaluable. 10 out of 10. I'm going to be running this perk. I'm very excited. All right. Now I want to talk about the beautiful brand new map that is Raccoon City Police Station. First of all, truly stunning, absolutely amazing work. Behavior knocked it out of the park with the design team. Like, art team destroyed this map in the best way possible. It's gorgeous. I've never played the Resident Evil games, but this is gorgeous and I love it. The thing about it with Nurse is it's simultaneously an amazing map for her and also atrocious. So there's a lot of sections, like where I'm currently traversing, where you have no choice but to hold W unless you're able to know the exact flawless layout of the map. If you know exactly where every single hallway leads in every room that's behind every door, and you know this map like the back of your hand, it might be easy for you to navigate with her blinks and guess where the survivors are going to end up and be able to aim your blinks accordingly. If you're like me and have never played Resident Evil, it's very challenging to figure out where the survivors are going to be. You're going to be heavily reliant on tracking perks. It's just how it's going to be. If you do not have tracking perks with this map, you're going to be screwed. As you can see, I'm struggling to find people. I was able to find the Meg here. She dropped, so she was trying to stun me, but basically, I already don't know where she is. I already have no idea where the Meg went. It very much has Hawkins syndrome, where you're either forced to hold W or make a wild guess and hope that you are correct. The beauty of this map, though, is with Nurse, you can get to any of these generators incredibly quickly. And you're also still able to capitalize on a lot of weird routes that other killers would not be able to. That vault that Nia just took, an insane opportunity for Nurse. So I do love it, and there's a lot of spots that are very, very beneficial for her, but there's also a lot of spots that are incredibly painful. So these tiny little corridors, I don't like them. Get rid of them. Obviously, you can't get rid of them. That's not really a suggestion. But in little rooms like this, if you can get line of sight, you can flourish. And in this main hallway, in this main area, she's really quite good. And so even at this like Leary's palette, she definitely has some good options. And so there's certain parts of the map that I don't enjoy and certain parts of the map that I do enjoy. It's really going to come down to how well can you memorize the layout. If you can't memorize the layout well, you're kind of screwed. Let's see. So here we are. We're looking around. We see an aura, and we can just teleport directly through the map right on top of this little Cheryl. That's stunning. That is amazing. We even got her in a hallway that's not that bad for us. And so look, like what I'm saying is like there's opportunities for Nurse to flourish where other killers would falter. On Hawkins, I would argue that there's really no benefit to playing Nurse. There's really not a lot of there's not a lot that Nurse can do on Hawkins that other killers can't do. The palettes on Hawkins are very unsafe. And so why would you don't need to worry about being able to teleport over God palettes because there's really only like 2. This map, I think, is a less good Midwich, where Nurse is able to ignore the mechanics of the map to get a very severe advantage. On Midwich, though, there's a lot less line of sight breakers because it's a very consistent shape. It's 2 squares on top of each other with rooms very predictably around, and those rooms have pretty good line of sight within them and around them. There's not a lot of line of sight breaks in Midwich despite it being an indoor map. Whereas with this one, with Raccoon City, first of all, it's a lot larger. It's a lot larger. And also, there's a lot of tiny hallways, tiny corridors, and tiny rooms. So here's where I'm chasing Cheryl. I tried to predict where she was going to go, and I got it wrong. I ended up inside of a room I didn't even want to be in. Now I was able to, like, find her because she ended up running into the room that I accidentally teleported into, and it worked out in my favor. But it's going to be a lot of guessing and a lot of false teleports. Not false teleports, but incorrect teleports until you memorize the map. So it's going to take a bit more, it's going to take a bit more practice before I can say how much I do or do not love this map. I'm going to say if you face survivors with Dead Hard and Iron Will, you're going to struggle on this map. If you are facing some incredibly talented survivors, good luck, because it's going to be a struggle. Also, the new survivor perks are amazing and I love them. They're so good. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this map. I wanted to record an entire game of me playing, but there's not much left of this match because Steam servers started happening. And there you go. GG. So the Steam servers had to reset and I got busy with work. And so unfortunately, that is all the gameplay that I have on that map right now. But as you can see, we had some really good blinks that were really amazing that nobody else could do. And then we also had a lot of instances where we were forced to kind of hold W. But overall, I'm kind of excited for it. I think I'm excited for it. I think. We'll see though. Only time will tell. And for now, it's what we've got.